but
you just got to make sure you eat it.
Maybe
eat
you're
going to pay more money, and then it's going to go bad quick.
I have noticed in some stores that the price difference is coming down a little bit because I think more people are buying it. You know, and the more people that buy it, the less price difference will be.
You know, my big thing for me is also I like to consider myself someone who's an environmentalist, and traditional techniques are more harmful for the environment. That's why a lot of people buy organic as well. Yes, it's going to spoil quicker, but there are other reasons. Who out there drinks organic milk? So, anyone want to do a little taste test? Come on up here, okay? We're gonna put it to the test. So come around here and stand next to me. So I'm gonna have you try each of these, and you tell me which one tastes better. Okay.
You don't have any cookies for?
Actually, we're gonna have you wash your mouth out with the strawberry. Okay, so how was that?
It was okay.
Tastes like milk.
All right.
Tastes like milk, exactly.
Let's try this one. Which one do you think is better?
I personally think the second one. I really...
So this is the organic one. So you prefer the organic over the non-organic?
So organic tasted better.
It tastes fresher.
Do you buy organic or?
No, I don't. But I actually have a 17-month-old son, and it's something that the doctors would recommend.
Organic is not unpasteurized, which is very different.
Right. Absolutely. So the moral of the story, and thank you, you can go ahead and have a seat, is
if you have young children, a very small body is probably more susceptible to any possible harmful effects from lingering pesticides. So, you know, young kids probably should eat more organic food.
Are you breastfeeding, maybe?
Yeah, breastfeed, pregnant. For pregnant mom, I'd highly recommend staying away from pesticides.
I think the most important take home here is the types of food you're buying, whether it's organic or not. Fruits and vegetables are good for you. You know, we do talk about pesticides, but just wash it underwater.
And organic for women are going to have, less hormones in them, which can be, there aren't any studies to show that really that can be deleterious to effects as far as increased puberty and things like that, but it is overall, the thought is healthier that there aren't any hormones in there.
So we've talked about organic versus inorganic. Let's move on to, is tuna toxic? I went through a phase in college. I was in the dorm room, and I would make myself a tuna sandwich every day for lunch, because it's easy. And then all of a sudden I'm reading these studies about men who are eating these once a day who are developing neurological symptoms because of mercury. A little scary.
Yeah, it is scary. And mercury gets out into the ocean from our factories and our pollution, and the fish, it kind of gets absorbed into the fish. And they found that fish that live a long time, tuna being one of them. Tuna are actually a huge fish.
Well, that's the point. It's a predatory fish. It's a big fish.
They're eating other fish.
They eat other fish who consume all of these things. That's why maybe, if you have a choice, pick a littler fish.
Yeah, like sardines. That's why sardines are very low in mercury.
Well, that's a real small fish, but sole.
It is confusing because I've heard, the FDA, I think, still insists that the tuna is safe. But then...
Even the FDA says that pregnant women, young children should not exceed 2 tuna meals per week.
Right. So, yeah, that was my point. If they're still saying there should be a limit, heck, I'm not pregnant, but I'm still going to maybe...
But there's really good benefits to the fish
sure,
oils, and that's why we actually have pregnant women take a fish oil supplement, because it's good for the eye and brain development of the fetuses, and it's just good for, us in general.
If you go on the FDA has a website, they kind of characterize the fish that are really safe, the medium ones, and then the ones that are much less safe. And if you look, the chunk light tuna, which is actually cheaper than albacore, is actually on the safer side than the more expensive albacores.
So some fish is good, but be a little bit careful, especially if you're pregnant or you have young children, right? Well, I want to ask everyone if you remember Michael and